Nick here. Okay, it's like January 5th or something. I'm gonna make this quick because my video about my supernaturally themed experience is way too long, and I'm just gonna say what happened was I I was partying earlier off normal drugs that like people do. Okay, nobody would look down on me. I'm not gonna get into names, and really I just mentioned it to be transparent, but it's not the drugs. Okay, it's not whatever the illicit substances. Okay, that I was partying with earlier that day. Okay, so let's just get that out of the way. If that's what you want to say, it caused it. Thank you for your contribution to helping me figure out what it was. Then, if that's all you can contribute, got you. Okay, thank you. Now. What happened? There was like a column of air that it was looked like a mirage, hovering like right from the top of the bookshelf or the shoecase thing that I use as a bookshelf, and I noticed it. And I there was no explanation for this column of air. No one's really been able to explain that to me, what they think it really was. But once I tapped the little box at it, and whatever happened, the box got tapped back towards me. Okay, and then like the column air just kind of disappeared, right? So all I'm thinking about now is how this little cardboard box, I tapped it towards something that's not there, and now the box is tapped back towards me. So something had to produce a force. It wasn't a vent. It wasn't a fan. All of those explanations don't logically make sense. They're pretty much physically impossible for that to have been the case for what I witnessed. And that's just what it is. I mean, if you don't believe me, fine. Thank you for your contribution to helping me figure it out. If that's your opinion that this is all fake or whatever, then thank you. You're welcome to that opinion. You're entitled to it. You know what I mean? Just don't expect me to take it seriously. Like if you're making that comment and. In the comment, I don't expect me to address it. I really don't care, honestly. I really don't care. You're not supposed to believe if you don't believe. So, anyways, yeah, so I assumed it must be a ghost because I didn't see anything there, really. So, if something invisible produced a force, then I assumed it was a ghost because I just didn't know any other terminology to use. So that in my head, that's what I thought. This must be a ghost. But then, I mean, I was still an atheist. Like, I didn't believe in God yet. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was wondering, okay, so how does this fit in with an atheistic worldview? I mean, I didn't really consider myself as having an atheistic worldview. My worldview was all about critical thinking, intellectual honesty, and scientific literacy. Those, and I haven't deviated from my worldview, regardless of what I think of whether God-like things exist or not. I still hold the same intellectual integrity I did before. I just have this experience to draw from now. So, yeah, and then I had interactions with some type of it wasn't divine anymore because it wasn't hidden. Like when I use the word divine, I'm talking about hidden. Whatever this was, it was this experience. The experience that I had was like the kind of thing you'd see in movies. And I kind of got that feeling that later on, after I thought about it long enough, like everything I saw was filtered through my imagination. And that's why it was like an atheistic outlook on what the supernatural would be like. I guess if there was like a realm, and it was all in my conscience, and that's people talk about dimensions of conscience, and how it appeared to. I'm sure I was like standing in this kitchen or something, or out there on the porch during some periods of it, walking around, but parts of it in my mind, everything was so real. It was like I was in my apartment, except I was somewhere else. But it was, it was that real, and I don't want to go into too great a detail because it'll be boring. But I got the impression that my sister was here, and she wasn't. But it was like she was walking around. For a while, my father couldn't see me. in the room. I was in front of him, putting my hand in front of his face. He couldn't see that I was there. That was one part. There was other. Oh my! It was like, holy ish. I thought I was out of it, man. That it was not necessarily the God of the Bible. I didn't think that. I actually, after this experience, I was like, oh man, the God of the Bible thing, man, they're obviously wrong, because my experience is the experience of all. But then I had to realize, like, no, that's not true, because a Christian might have had the same experience, but it would have been Christian themed. Or a Muslim, same thing. They would have had a Muslim themed supernatural experience. I was an atheist, so I had an atheist supernatural experience. God was just like to me, when God, like, when it was like this big thing where it's like, hey God, why don't you show yourself to him? This entity said, I'm trying not to get into too many details. And like the clouds opened. Of course, it had to be clouds, because in my imagination, that's what heaven would look like, right? And then there was God, like when it was like from South Park or something. I was like, oh man, I don't know. He's just kind of a big floating cloud of energy. I mean, these other clouds of energy are all sparkling and white, and now I believe it's all symbolic. And in my mind, like there was messages being. Maybe it was just my mind sending me messages. You know what I mean? When it was all, nothing supernatural actually happened, I guess. But what about that with the cardboard box then? Right? Now we're back to that. So, you know what I mean? I just want someone to help me figure out what's the actual. I'd like to talk about bending the laws of physics. You know, maybe there is a race of superior beings out there that could make my experience happen, and maybe everything I just said is true. Maybe like in the movies where the person that moves really fast, everyone appears like they're in slow motion, and the person that moves really fast comes in and does stuff and nobody sees them. Maybe that happened. Maybe something came in and knocked the cardboard box, and they did it so fast I couldn't see it was a person or a being, whatever. I don't know. I know what I'm saying, but now I'm open up to these kinds of ideas, and I truly believe whatever gods are out there, they are atheists in the sense that they don't know where the origin of the universe came from, and you know they've been around way longer than us. That's all, I guess, man. I mean, I just don't know, but yeah, and they might as well be gods if they could do all the stuff I just said. So they might as well be gods, you know, if that. So to me, it's like, I'm not worried about atheism and theism. I've really got other better. Those are awesome intellectual pursuits. But I'm a college student. I run a charity. I volunteer in my community. I just can't make my whole life be about whether or not my supernaturally themed experience was natural or not. Anyway, all right, have a good one.